What's up, YouTube? I'm Super Dan the Shoe Man, back from the living room again, recording some intros this morning because Trent and Hesper are upstairs sleeping. It was not a rough night, but we didn't get a whole lot of sleep, and they're resting now. I don't want to go and disturb them, but I'm in the living room, so this is not a shoe video. So y'all seen my shoe videos, sharing a passion that I have for shoes. You've seen my Super Dan Eats videos. Another passion that I have is beef. And now I want to introduce you, or start introducing you to another passion that I have, a passion that I've had for a really long time, and that's with fish. And like fish in every way, you're going to see several different kinds of fish here, or my involvement with fish here. And before we go any further, though, let me give you a word from our sponsor. This is something that we're not going to church right now because Trent was just born, and so I watched our church on YouTube. And I'm watching on the TV right over there right now. And this is the verse that's up, and it says, and this is Exodus 19:19. And when the blast of the trumpet sounded long and became louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by voice. So earlier in Exodus, God was saying, really setting this appointment and saying, all right, I want you to do this and bring the people here, and then I'm going to speak to them. So God made this appointment, and then Moses kept the appointment and did what God said. And I think that God makes those appointments with us, with each and every one of us, all the time. And he makes a really special appointment with us all as well. And that's a time when he's going to speak to us, and we have the opportunity to respond to him. And I think it's equally important, though, that we also make appointments to be with him. And fishing is a way that I kind of did that, and something that I learned in a fairly big tournament. I've tournament fished for about 5 years of my adult life. I tournament fished a little bit when I was a teenager. I think everybody says this nowadays. Everybody my age says this nowadays, that if we had tournament fishing like high school Bass Nation when I was in high school, man, I would have fished like crazy, and I probably would have, my life might have turned out a lot different. I feel like I'm a decent fisherman. My dad took me fishing when I was really little. I've been to a couple of the ponds as an adult that my dad took me to when I was little. My dad had the fishing fever when I was a teenager, I think. It's about the time that I got into shoes in sixth grade, because I think in seventh and eighth grade, like through middle school, he would, to convince me to go fishing with him, he'd say, I'll buy you a pair of shoes if you go fishing with me. And he wanted to go fishing like every day when he got home. So we fished a whole lot. And like I said, as an adult, I started tournament fishing, made the Bass Nation, Georgia State team several times, made regional team a couple of times, and just had a whole lot of fun with it. And a couple years ago, kind of got out of fishing the Bass Nation stuff quite so much. And I mean, I was tournament fishing almost every single weekend for a couple of years. Asked Hesper if I could do that for a couple of years. She said yes, and now I'm out. So just a couple weeks ago, though, right before Trent was born, my buddy Jeff asked me to fish a tournament with him. And I fished a couple tournaments with him. He's really who helped me get back into tournament fishing, so I appreciate his friendship a lot. And we fished at, God, what lake did we fish at? It was great. Lake Wedowee. It's one of my favorite lakes in Alabama. And we won that tournament. And I've won a lot of tournaments. I've come in last in a lot of tournaments too, and not done well in a lot of tournaments. But what I learned, and this was an appointment because it was a day right before a state tournament, so it was a pretty big tournament. And I was at Lake Chattooga in North Georgia, and it's a lake I wasn't really that familiar with. It's a blueback herring lake, if you're familiar with that. It's a forage, one of the bait fish that's in there. Legend's here with me. Hey, Legend. Good boy. And just fish is a lot different than a lot of lakes around the area that don't have blueback herring. And didn't do that well in practice, didn't do that well the week before, even though I won our club tournament the week before the big state tournament. But I had heard a particular song on the radio that morning, even though I had like a 3-minute ride to the boat ramp. I heard a particular song on at the boat ramp that morning. And this is something I had kind of always thought about, but it really hit home for me that day. I fished all day with a really good dude on his boat with him, and he was catching fish and I just wasn't catching anything, which isn't too unheard of with a co-boater, especially in a situation like that where we're fishing deep water a lot of time, and he can see the structure on his graphs and I can't. So he knows what he's casting at. Anyways, I was getting a little down, which I don't tend to get. I never really tended to get while I was fishing, because I've always kind of put it in perspective. But the song that I was listening to that morning just kind of stood out to me all day. And like within the last 30 minutes of the tournament, I caught my 3 fish, my 3 keepers that I needed, and ended up placing 4th in the 2-day tournament. And like, it just helped me remember, like, God has an appointment for us. I had an appointment that morning to hear that song because I only had a very small window of time to hear it, and it was what was on. And it's something that I just always go back to when I'm fishing, and especially when it's not a good day on the water, that Jesus makes the darkness tremble. And anytime that, you know, not catching a lot of fish in a fishing tournament isn't really that big of a deal. And of course you want to do well, and competitive people more so than other people really want to do well. But you know, it's like, it just translates into the rest of my life when there's darkness in our lives, when we're up against things that that could seem daunting to us. Like, Jesus is always there for us, and he's always got it. So he just put those fish on my hook that day, and you know, I got to give all the glory to him for that, but give all the glory to him for all this happiness and joy in my life, because it is all because of him. So thank you so much, Jesus, for sponsoring this video and the whole channel, and I hope you're glorified here. So I got a couple little pieces of video from this Wedowee trip. I caught the big fish. I missed big fish in the tournament by like 1/10 of a pound, and we won the tournament by, I don't know how much, but by enough to win it, and that's all that really matters. And hadn't fished a tournament in several months, hadn't really fished at all in several months. So I'll give you that snip of video, but I'm also going to give you some other stuff. Like I said, I've been tournament fishing a whole lot for the last couple years. Got a lot of nice pictures, so and a couple video clips too. So enjoy this, and it's just something else I want to share with you. I'll probably get some more of these. If you go back to my old YouTube channel or videos on this channel, like before I was really doing YouTube, I was trying to get some videos out for fishing, and there's some good videos back there. They're not really like edited nicely and everything like that, or you know, to my level of nicely, but they were fun and enjoyed them. So enjoy the rest of these the videos and pictures. Tell your grandma about fishing, tournament fishing, and all these nice fish. Oh, there's a fish right there. You're going to see more about this stuff in a little bit, and I'll see y'all next time.
All right, so Daniel listened to me last night. He's throwing a buzzbait at noon, and look at the call we're about to make. He goes in, he goes out. Whoops.
Bye-bye.
And he wins that shot. And we start going in the opposite direction.
Right on that wood.
First place, 13-19, Jeff Austin.
And Daniel Herman.
And Daniel Herman. I didn't know his name.
It's all right, thank you.
Did y'all take pictures of the fish?
Yeah, we did.
He'll send
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
You got the store page? You do, don't you?
Yeah, I got it.
Send them to her. She wants on the post.
I think so. This is crazy.